Alright, so today I'm excited to bring you all a video about Sea of Stars and the new free Dawn of Equinox update. This one, it is a literal game changer. Now transparently, this video was sponsored by the team at Sabotage, but that doesn't change the fact that this game is already a masterpiece, and with this new patch, there is a lot to be excited about. Now if you are interested in taking a look as well, do me a favour, use my link in the pinned comment below. Now I don't get any sort of kickback or anything, but it just tells the team you watched this, enjoyed what you saw. Now, let's get into this. So before we do dive into all of the new content in the Dawn of Equinox update, I want to take a moment to talk about Sea of Stars itself. Now as a massive fan of the game, I can confidently say it is incredible, and I'm not alone in thinking that. The game has been universally praised for its visuals, its combat, its storytelling. Now for those of you that haven't played it yet, let me quickly recap what makes Sea of Stars so special. If, however, you are just here to hear about all the new content in the update, feel free to skip ahead to the next chapter of this video. So Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG inspired by classic games from the golden era of the genre, but of course with plenty of modern twists. It is set then in the same universe as The Messenger, and it follows the story of two children of the Solstice who harness the power of the sun and moon to fight an ancient evil known as the Fleshmancer. The shift from The Messenger's action platformer style to a fully fledged turn-based RPG, it was a bold move by Sabotage, but they absolutely nailed it. Now there are a few things I truly love about the experience. The combat system, it blends traditional turn-based mechanics with timed hits and combo moves. It makes it more engaging than many in the genre. The world is packed with puzzles and becomes even more fascinating with the ability to change the time of day. And finally, the soundtrack, absolutely stunning and something I listen to frequently outside of the game itself. Overall, basically, it's just a love letter to retro RPGs, but it's still infused with Sabotage Studios' unique personality and creative flair. Now though, let's talk about what you're all here to dig into, the Dawn of the Equinox patch, and we'll start with the additional local co-op support, which is sure to take the spotlight for many players. But trust me, there's so much more to this update with plenty of additional content and improvements that we will dive into here shortly. As for that local co-op though, it is just as fun as you'd expect. It is available right from the beginning with one small stipulation. It will take about an hour and a half of gameplay to unlock the free player variation of co-op if you play it straight, because you'll need to reunite with a friend to bring them into the mix. And you know, this genre doesn't often get multiplayer support, but this update shows why studios should be considering it more. It not only works well, but is also great for any type of player since the controls in the genre, you know, they're not overly demanding. I played with my wife who doesn't game and she was able to pick things up quickly. Compare that to say throwing it into the, the Messenger for example, and it would have been borderline impossible for her. One feature as well that they've implemented really well is keeping player one as the leader. If your co-op partner needs to step away, they'll follow behind in a bubble until they're ready to take control again. It's also drop in, drop out, so there's no need for a dedicated save file or other complications. I could continue the adventure solo when she wasn't playing. Best of all though is the implementation of combat. It rotates turns, keeping things seamless, but the most challenging element for new players is timing strikes. Now that involves a button prompt as your attack connects with an enemy or vice versa for defense. What is great here is that as the main player, well actually all players, you can support each other in these actions with prompts displayed on the right of the screen. It is intuitive and it makes the experience enjoyable for players of any skill level. Taking the barrier to entry adjustments even further as well are the new difficulty options. Now in Sea of Stars we already had relics which allowed players to modify the experience, but now there's a more traditional difficulty selection on the first screen. So you've got story mode for an easy kind of laid back experience, adventure for the standard Sea of Stars gameplay, and then challenge for those who want to push their skills to the limits. It's a small addition, but one that I think will go a long way with players. You know, want to play with your kids? They've got you covered. Looking to revisit the game and turn up the intensity? That's here too. And if you want even more flexibility, you can still jump in and select specific relics or settings. They've even made updates here. You want your party to heal after leveling up? Turn it on. Prefer to heal up after every battle? That's an option too. You'll find all of these options in the settings, allowing you to drastically customize that experience. And those are just a few examples of what is now possible. We even have the ability, for example, to see through mystery locks, which I think long-term fans might appreciate it's one of the elements of combats. From here then we also get a new prologue, a playable introduction that kind of leads up to the original experience, we'll call it, but you'll see them as young children engaging in a roleplay battle that you do control. It was always the intended approach for the experience, and it definitely helps in setting the scene. If you're here at this point as well thinking, I just kind of want to get to the core of the game, skip all of the tutorials, etc., they've added scrolls which allow you to skip the prologue and training entirely. You know, I wanted to see it personally, but I know for some, they just kind of want to get into it understandably. Next up then, let's talk about the Dawn of Equinox updates, a whole host of balancing tweaks, changes and new relics. Now I can't cover absolutely everything, that's how big this update is, but let's address a few of my favorites. So first, in combat, combo points are now sticky. Previously, your combo meter would reset between battles, but now it carries over. So for those unfamiliar, this meter builds up to unlock more powerful abilities at levels 1, 2 and 3 initially. Now if you do end a fight with some meter progression, that progress stays in place, which is especially useful when you know something big is around the corner. Next from there, your inventory. This used to have a cap, which could be frustrating. Now it's unlimited. I personally love this change as it keeps you out of the menus and more focused on the experience. There's also from here some new music, which is always a win in my eyes, and a few overlong scenes have actually been trimmed back to better match, again, the intended vision, and that makes sense as it's a location you visited a couple of times, once for main quest, once for a side quest, and they stated it themselves, it was a little dull. And yeah, the list honestly keeps on going. One addition that I think will excite a lot of players is the speedrunner mode relic. While it's not for me personally, I'm sure it's going to lead to some very cool strategies and records from the speedrunning community. I'm just not that good, transparently. And my final highlight, there's a new bonus cinematic. Now I won't spoil it, but it covers a major story beat that maybe didn't get the love it deserved the first time around. So while there's even more in this update, then I think those are kind of the big, let's say, hitters, and honestly, there's no better time to jump into Sea of Stars than right now. Best of all, this entire update is completely free, so huge respect to the team for that. You know, with the sheer number of changes and additions they've packed in here as well, they could have easily attached some sort of price tag. But instead, what they've done is they've delivered something that is truly game-changing but completely free. In fact, the update does so much, especially with the addition of co-op. I think it's enough to entice players like me back in who finished the main story ages ago, because I think, yeah, it's so well implemented, you'll want to check it out. And this world as well, when you look at it, it's filled with combat, puzzles, minigames, and they all work with that new format. That is seriously impressive when it wasn't, well, as far as I know, maybe the original intention. And then, I mean, not really part of this video per se, but what's next for Sea of Stars? This is kind of where it gets crazy, honestly, but expect the throes of the Watchmaker DLC in spring of 2025. It's going to be coming to all platforms. Once again, they're going to be charging, well, nothing. It's going to be completely free. Well, we're not here again to talk about this today. They have a trailer up, so maybe go and check it out. From what I can see, though, it's taking us to a miniature Clockwork world where we're going to be facing off against a cursed carnival. There's going to be new playable classes, a new character, new areas, new music, new enemies, new bosses, new puzzles, and the local co-op, once again, it's here, supported for up to 3 players. Again, I'll save details for that on another video in the future, but you can see they're supporting this game, they're giving it love. So yeah, go show them some love, definitely check it out. So that is the new Sea of Stars free Dawn of the Equinox update. If you own the game already, get to downloading it, check it out. I think, again, there's more than enough here, as I said, for existing players to dive back in, especially if you want to co-op the adventure. Then for everyone else, the game's incredible, easily one of the best RPGs on the system, and it comes highly recommended from me. Once again, if you can visit my link in the pinned comment as well, that would be seriously appreciated. Also, let me know in the comments if you've already been playing it and what you do think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. With that then, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks everyone.